Do you like phones? And specifically, do you like phones which aren't rubbish? Well, excellent! You've come to the correct grotty little corner of the internet, where a sad little man whose only friend is a soggy, spooge-filled sock spends his entire life banging on about phones. And here's his thoughts on the latest ones which are the least bad. And don't worry, I haven't just included stupidly expensive flagship smartphones for people who are so rich that they line their cat's litter tray with shredded up Van Gogh originals. Nope, I've also chucked in my pick of the very best affordable jobbies, and speaking of which, let's kick off with the award for the best budget phone. If you fancy yourself a shiny new phone but you've only got a couple £100 to spare, well, no worries, we've seen some pretty spectacular affordable blowers in 2025. So for instance, Motorola's Moto G56 5G is a good looking water resistant Android with a lovely clean UI, you've got long battery life and a camera that isn't total arse drippings. Likewise, the Honor 400 Lite is well worth checking out if you fancy yourself an iPhone but at a quarter of the price and actually better. This thing heartily imitates an Apple mobile, right down to the floaty turd selfie cam notch and the obligatory camera button. However, hands down the absolute best choice among affordable blowers as we hit the midway point in 2025 is Nothing's CMF Phone 2 Pro. Aside from the slightly annoying lack of a regular CMF Phone 2, there's little to dislike here. The colourful design is once again completely customizable with support for a small range of slap-on accessories, and this sequel is now more rugged with improved water resistance. The rest of the hardware is just as trouserially tantalising, from that poppy AMOLED panel to the respectable camera setup, complete with a basic telephoto shooter. The CMF Phone 2 Pro is powerful enough to cope with proper games like Wuthering Waves, while the battery life is top notch. And oh yes, Nothing OS remains an enjoyable overall experience. So congratulations to CallPay and Co. Call me, if you just bung me £20 to cover the postage, I'll get the award sent right out to you. Actually better make it 50 just to be sure. Bloody Royal Mail, always putting their prices up. And the next rather splendid award is for the best mid-range phone. Now, I've been banging on for absolutely ages about how most people on this planet would be perfectly happy with just your regular mid-range Android phone, even those in the habit of spunking out bags of cash on the latest spangliest flagship every year. And in 2025, that's more true than ever. Had some absolutely banging mid-ranges, and my absolute favourite is a toss-up between two versions of the same smartphone. The Nothing Phone 3A and the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, both of which I would happily slap my SIM inside of for the rest of this year. I should probably say right now, no, CallPay hasn't sponsored this awards video. Probably should have just mixed them up a bit better so he didn't win the first two friggin' awards in a row. It is quite tough to pick the 3A or the 3A Pro over the other, as they're both ridiculously good value at their respective price points. Most people should be perfectly content with the cheaper Nothing Phone 3A, which boasts respectable performance, excellent battery life, and of course that full Nothing experience, including the literally flashy glyph shenanigans. But for those who fancy a bit more in the camera department, there's always the Pro with its upgraded optics. The Nothing Phone 3A already served up a telephoto shooter, but the 3A Pro replaces it with an even more capable zoom lens, while also improving the nighttime photo capture smarts. So congratulations again, Call. That £50 better double it, make it 100 just to be sure. These trophies I'll be sending out, they're proper bloody heavy. At least they will be once I get around to making them. But of course, plenty of other great mid-range options have emerged in 2025 so far, from the ever-dependable Pixel 9a to the super fancy Moto Edge 60 Fusion. You can check out my roundup of the best mid-range mobiles right now for a full list of rivals. And strolling our way onto the next award, which is the best camera phone so far. I'd say this was the hardest one to judge. Choosing a best camera phone so far in 2025, even though there's only been 6 bloody months, is an unenviable task, right up there with hand washing a sumo wrestler's jockstrap. You see, there's been no shortage of proper good phones boasting excellent photography chops this year, from savings draining flagships like the Honor Magic 7 Pro to more affordable handsets like the Pixel 9a. You've got absolute monsters like the Vivo X200 Ultra, complete with bonus accessories to turn it into a bizarre sort of smartphone DSLR hybrid, which will certainly earn you a few suspicious glares when you're shooting away in public. And if you aren't branded a total wanker by a half dozen surly teenagers on bikes, then you clearly live in a nicer neighborhood than I. So I was tempted to do the usual YouTube cop-out and basically just split this award between a couple of different devices, but in the end I said f it and just gave it to the OnePlus 13. You see, the Vivo X200 Ultra is an excellent shooter, as is the Xiaomi 15 Ultra most of the time, but the OnePlus 13 just has them beat for action snaps, so it's actually more dependable for shooting kids, pets and drunken idiots. That Hasselblad fine-tuning means beautifully natural looking pics with stunning contrast. And overall, it just makes me more happy than, I don't know what else makes me happy. And come back to me at the end of the video, I might have thought of something. Next up is the award for the best foldable phone. And not really much competition for this category so far in the first half of 2025 anyway, because most of the big bendy blowers are launching in the back half of the year, the likes of Honor's Magic V5, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 and Z Fold 7, and of course Google's Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Now, I absolutely effing adore the Oppo Find N5, which was unveiled back in February. It's so good I would happily slap a dress on it and marry the thing. From the stupidly skinny and masterful design to the slick UI and powerful performance, the Find N5 is a near flawless foldable. But unfortunately, the fact remains that you can't buy it here in Europe. It's an absolute bugger to get your hands on, and so I'm really struggling to hand it the award. Which means that almost by default, the winner is Motorola's Razr 60 Ultra. However, the fact that it basically has zero competition for this award doesn't mean it isn't a worthy victor. The Razr 60 Ultra is a fantastic wee flippy type bugger, which is ideal for anyone after a proper compact blower. It's beefy enough for gaming, the battery life has been upgraded so you're not balls deep in power saving mode come the evening, or at least not always, and you can do a startling amount on that dinky cover screen. It's a proper cracker by half. And next up, a bit of the best gaming phone of 2025. Sorry, I should have thought up like decent intros or something ahead of time. You know, sort of actual production values. But anyway, once again, this category incredibly easy to select a winner as there have been so few gaming smartphones so far this year. So congratulations then to the Red Magic 10S Pro, one of the most powerful pocket fillers around, thanks to the Snapdragon 8 Elite Leading Edition and the ICE-X coolant setup which keeps it from getting all burny. You've got the usual spiffing selection of gaming features, and the fact that even an arthritic old git with buggered eyes and the reaction speeds of a deceased sloth can get MVP in Call of Duty on this thing proves that it's an essential tool for any online warriors who want to suck less at games. And next up, a bit of a change of pace as we go from celebrating the best blows of 2025 so far to pinching our nose at some of the cackiest ones. It's the award for why does this phone even exist? And there was actually a fair bit of competition for this award as 2025 seems to have big f it that'll do energy. So you got the likes of Samsung's Galaxy S25 Edge, which is certainly quite slim as promised, but that as a selling point is slightly baffling. Right up there with a vibrator featuring a built-in button that speed dials your mum. And then there's Asus's Zenfone 12 Ultra, a smartphone that I guarantee you either didn't know existed or had already long forgotten about. But of course there could only ever be one winner, and the champion is naturally Apple, who for over half a decade now have absolutely perfected the art of not giving two shiny splendid f***s. And boy howdy, in 2025 they've absolutely excelled themselves with this befuddling slab right here, the iPhone 16e. Every time you have this chunky wee twat sat there in your palm, you can't help but wonder, why do you even exist? It's basically the Kanye West of the smartphone world. As an allegedly affordable alternative to the iPhone flagships, it's laughably overpriced, while packing similar specs to a Fisher-Price Barbie blower. As for Apple Intelligence, well, that has an IQ that barely stretches into double digits. Let's face it, even an exceptionally slow PE teacher could probably outwit this thing. I mean, if you absolutely must get an iPhone but pay less than the usual ridiculous prices, just get a refurbed 15 Pro or something. It's still not particularly great, but at least it's not utter bollocks. But anyway, back onto the good stuff, kiddies, as we've come to the epic conclusion of the evening. The best phone of 2025 so far after 6 months awards. And yes, this one was once again pretty tough to judge because I've enjoyed using quite a few different smartphones, all different shapes and sizes, although admittedly mostly just bloody huge. So for instance, I've enthusiastically gushed all over the likes of Vivo's X200 Ultra and the Poco F7 Ultra, especially the latter, which offers proper solid value for money, although both of these phones do come with their fair share of quirks. Samsung's Galaxy S25 Ultra boasts some great features, including a gorgeous glare-free display, but practically all of the best bits were already present on last year's S24 Ultra, and those new AI bits don't really do anything for me, while the S Pen has actually been downgraded for this generation as well. The Xiaomi 15 Ultra came strutting along with its usual jizz-worthy hardware packed into its slightly chunky frame, but the HyperOS experience can be a drag at times. And then of course there's Honor, who also impressed with its spangly Magic 7 Pro. But there is one phone which just about does enough to edge them all out, winning a special place in my cold black heart, as well as my pants of course, anytime it likes. And yes, that phone is the OnePlus 13. This stunning all-round flagship phone is more affordable than many Pro and Ultra rivals, and yet it offers a top-end camera that's ideal for action shots, proper stunning battery life, unbeatable performance, and a strikingly smooth and lovable Oxygen OS experience. And it keeps getting better with every update, and I actually think that the design is starting to grow on me as well, or maybe I'm just love blind. Anyway, that right there, my lovelies, is your Uncle Spurt's pick of the best smartphones we've had so far in 2025. But what do you think? Disagree with any of my choices? Maybe you reckon this video is packed with more bollocks than a castration clinic bin? Well, definitely let us know your own picks of the best smartphones so far in 2025 in any category that you fancy down below. You'll find full reviews of all the smartphones mentioned in this video here on TechSpurt. Please do poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech, all the usual YouTube guff. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everyone. Love you all.